You see all these things we've been discussing here. I hope that you'll be using them one way or another. Because it's that one that will pain me. Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're doing great. I hope that work is going perfectly well for you. As I like to ask, you see all these things we've been discussing here. I hope that you'll be using them one way or another. Because it's that one that will pain me. As in, it will be a waste that we come here all the time and talk, and then you just stray with those things, or you're not using them at work. I'd also like to, hear your what's the word about your experiences. Maybe you tried something, it worked out for you. I really love to read comments and all of that from my viewers. Thank you very much. Let's get into what I have for you today. Now, in all our time together, everything I've shared, the tips and all of that, I know I've shared a few experiences, but today I want to share something that really just had a huge impact on me, and it contains quite a lot of my mistakes that I wouldn't want you to make if you happen to ever be in my shoes, or maybe you had to advise somebody. Because as I reflect on that whole occurrence at work, it's just what's the word occurred to me that I was pretty young, not just young as it concerns my age, but very young in the corporate world, and there were some things I didn't know. I didn't have anybody to tell me. So, but anyway, let me hit the story. I was working at a private school then, beautiful school. It was on the mainland, and in the league of private schools, then in that particular area, it was one of those where discipline was a thing maintained. It was also one of the places where you'd find good and sound teachers, things were being done right, staff were not being owed their salary or any other thing, and all of that. Really beautiful environment, honestly. So I was a teacher there. I would teach literature and English language, which is something I've always been, sound at or with, or however that's it. So after a while there, I noticed my boss took a liking to me. A female boss, not a male boss, and not in that other way. She really just liked me and made some comments about how I speak and how I do my stuff and all of that. And gradually, she would call me, ask me questions on different things, and what's the word now? Even give me extra responsibilities. And I remember at some point in time, she gave me a raise for this extra something she wanted me to do. And I was like, but in every way, she showed that she had some kind of liking for me. And I think that's where I wasn't very careful because, which is the first lesson actually I want to mention. When you have a boss that likes you, loves you, or whatever else, please do not toy with it. It's not as common as you think. It's a gift. It's something you should protect. Not just for now, but for the future. Now, there was a particular day after this boss of mine had left the school, and then staff members were just having random conversations. And then people were talking about the stress we go through and how we were being paid and all of that. Well, we all know that private schools don't exactly pay as the government ones, and there's those that exploit you and stuff like that. So we know that the salary scheme is usually not the same, and sometimes you're even doing more in schools like that than if you were in one that pays you well. And come on, it's the mainland. A lot of you who have worked there know what goes on in that environment. So I let all that talk get to me. I was so mad about how we're being treated. And, being a young person, I just wanted justice by all means. I got home that day. Truly, I had a headache. It was just a lot of stress from that day. So the next day, I went to work and I went straight to the principal. This is where it gets interesting. The principal was also part of that conversation. I went straight to her and then I said, "Oh, I need you to take off." At the time, I was handling English language, literature in English, and then they added one extra. Was it? I'm trying to recall now. I think it was this religious. There's a way they mixed it up, religious studies and social studies or something. When I was growing up, social studies was a different thing, but at this particular school, at that point in time, they kind of mixed the subjects together. I think it was social studies along with CRS and something else. I can't remember what it's called actually. So I spoke with her and I said I needed her to at least take off one subject at the point of what's the word, employment. I wasn't told I'd be doing all three, and you've added that for me. You haven't given me a raise, but it's been much stress and all for me. And then the principal would say to me, "Go put it in a letter." That's another lesson you should learn. There are some things at work that when you hear, go and put it in writing. Please don't listen. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. You don't know where that writing will go to. Aside from this, my own experience, some people have written things that should have ended there, and then they moved it ahead for them. They took it to the people that should not have seen it. When you write to a certain office, I was writing to my principal, so in my mind, right, they would, go through it and do what needs to be done or get back to me, right? But sometimes it's not like that at work. You don't want to fall for that. So sometimes be careful when they say, right, if you really want that solution or whatever, there's something else you can do. I've even been in some situations, after this experience, I'll just be like, I don't want to write a letter now, man, now, sir, this is what I want, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I have to beg with my mouth because I know that that letter could go places. This is wisdom I'm giving you. It's not like I need you to be scared. That's not the idea. So she told me to go put in a letter, and this is where I should have known that something was quite, I don't know. So I put it all in a letter, how I was feeling, how I was taking a toll on my health, how when I go home the previous day and I needed them to. I was justified, right? There's nothing about what I had written down that's a crime for any employee. So fast forward to I think it was break time. I was summoned by my boss, as in the school owner, and then she was so pissed at me. She was so mad at me, and I'm not gonna make it out like or make it to look like she's a bad person because of how she reacted. I'm gonna get into that. You see, when people open themselves up to you, when they like you, when they give you certain what's it called, benefits and all that, there is also a level of trust or confidence they want you to have in them. That's one thing I didn't recognize at that point in time. The truth is, my boss could have handled all this for me if I had gone directly to her. But you see my thinking. I went to the principal because in my mind I wasn't using the relationship I had well, and it hurt her because she felt like why am I writing an official letter to her? This is the same boss that had done many amazing things for me on the spot, honestly. But that little mistake I made really just burnt it all. And people have their bad sides. The way she reacted, she was mad. She didn't expect it. She saw it as betrayal. That's it. And that day I just stood and I was crying. Like I was literally crying. I didn't mind that I was at work or there were other staff members around or whatever. I was in so much pain because she felt betrayed. I wasn't trying to betray her. That wasn't the intent. I had no idea that that letter was going to leave my principal's office or anything. And it was just really bad. And then she just said, I should leave. I should, I was mortified. I was embarrassed. And, I got my bag and baggages and I left. And later on, when I would call to speak with her, apologize again, she was much calmer then. And then she said she doesn't even understand that the principal then just came to her and, just handed her the letter. I was just like, from your employee or something. I was like, really? Because everything I wrote in that letter was very true. She said she never knew at the point of employment it was this principal that handled it, up until that moment. So she apparently there was a mix up somewhere, and then she said, "Well, the principal handed that to me. Maybe somebody said something or whatever else." Anyway, but that happened, and then she apologized and all. But ever since then, you know, the weight of the outburst, everything that happened in school that day, I could never see her the same again. That relationship, the trust, and all that had been broken, and yeah, that's my little story, guys. So now let's move on to the lessons. I'm pretty sure by now you know a few of what those lessons are, right? So first of all, I've said that when you have a boss that loves you, you should by all means sustain that relationship, preserve it. It's not for today; it's for the future. Another thing you need to know about preserving that relationship is when that boss likes you and is opening up to you. It's a gift. You should use that gift, not give others the opportunity to break into it or tamper with it for you. That's what some of these people we are calling bad people know. Those are bad people at work, this one or that one, they are favoring them too much. This is what they know that you don't know. That's why when they need things, they know who to go and meet because of the relationship you have with them. But you say, this is the corporate way to do it. That's what happened to me that day. This is the right way to do it. This is my principal I should talk to. My principal will now adjust it. And you have forgotten that the Oga Patapata of the school, of that business, actually has a thing for you. It's not cheating. It's not a cheat code. It's not. is wisdom. You're talking about workplace dynamics. You want to know how to use the relationships you're building at work, okay? So when people open themselves to you like that, try to give them a certain level of trust and confidence as well. As I reflect on it, she didn't deserve that letter. Yes, I'm seeing it from her point of view. She doesn't deserve it. Yes, I didn't mean to write to her. Even the letter was addressed to the principal. I didn't know it was going to get to her and all of that. But seeing things from her point of view, she didn't deserve that letter. She deserved, good morning, Ma. Please, can I talk to you? I've been feeling, sorry, some kind of way about this work stress and all of this tasks I've been given. Can you take this? She would do that, or she would have done that for me. She would have understood perfectly well, okay? Another thing is, I think that you need to know that when you have a boss that loves you, certain people in that environment, your co-workers and others, they're not going to like it because it's going to be obvious. They're not going to understand it. For some of you, it's just a gift that God has given you. There's no place you get to, they will like you. There's something efficient about you, or there's just a way that you do your job that they will just like you. For some of you, it's the fact that you are always where you are needed. Where they put you is where you are. You do your job the right way, you're hardworking. So there's no boss that will not like you. But those others around you, they'll never understand it, and they will always find a way. They'll always keep trying to find a way to, breed a relationship, get in between, break it and all of that. So you have to be careful who you're talking to, the things you do, and really just ensuring that you preserve or protect that relationship. And also beware of these general office talks. Everybody's talking about the same thing. You don't know who the snitch is. I remember a certain issue that occurred in one of the places where I worked. HR had showed up. Had showed up. Sorry, to have this conversation with us about the things we like, the things we don't like. Usually, when they have conversations like that, they would excuse the leaders. You understand? So later, I heard some very sweet and rosy office gist. So in the next meeting, one of those leaders I've been excused came around and was like, "Who said this and said this to HR? Blah 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 blah." And apparently it wasn't HR. HR would never, expose stuff like that or all of that. But whoever the snitch was had told the boss exactly what the fella said, who said it, when, all of the information. So you have to be careful. You see all these general office talks. Know who is your friend and who is not your friend. Everybody's saying this, everybody's saying that. Please be careful. You really you can't, what's the word, afford to, fall into that kind of mistake. And another important thing is follow those who have gone ahead, or seek advice from those who have gone ahead. I wish I had somebody, I wish there was somebody I had spoken to that day. I'm pretty sure they would have advised me better. They definitely would have. I wouldn't have made that huge mistake, because talking to somebody or having a mentor means that, for example, if somebody, a younger person, came to me with this now, the first question I'd ask is, that your boss? What's relationship you have with them? Because the thing about people that have gone ahead is they have a lot of the experience of the things you don't know or you're still learning. So you need to ensure that you always seek their advice. Maybe you have a mentor, you have an older friend. You need to have these people in your life, because you need to seek the right kind of advice before you take certain steps. Okay, so that's it for today. I know that this is pretty long, but it'll be my greatest honor, greatest joy actually, if you learned from everything I've just said today. That's my story, and I hope that you never fall into this mistake. Learn to preserve those relationships every now and then. I still say, although it's been quite a while since I said hi to that boss of mine, but when I remember her, we just have such beautiful memories, and it just hit me that what if this hadn't happened? The relationship would have actually, been tighter. So I'm grateful to God. It doesn't mean that since then I've not had even better opportunities or life hasn't been beautiful. And I'm pretty sure if it's happened to you before, of course, life will keep, opening doors for you and everything. But I'm still saying some relationships should be preserved. Not always for now, it could be for the future. Okay. So let's talk about that, people. As I like to say, keep fighting for your happiness. And more importantly, keep working on yourself. Keep listening to people that help you to become a better version of who you are now. Okay, so yeah, that's all about that. I hope you've subscribed to my channel at this point. You should not be missing the things we're talking about around here. All right, guys. Until my next video, I'll see you when I see you. Bye.